А, это интересно.
What do you think? Is it really from her?
How can it be?
Why don't we check the handwriting with Freya's...
Good idea. Hold on.
Well?
It's a perfect match.
Oh, it's confirmed. We have a ghost helping us.
Let's keep this to ourselves.
What about the little wooden toy thingy?
Maybe we can put it to some kind of use.
Неоконченное дело. У меня две теории. Какие две теории? Давайте я просто расскажу все, что думаю. Этому, мне кажется, это либо Пенелопа. Хотя мы с ней еще поговорим, потому что Пенелопа вообще нигде не взаимодействовала. Она просто выбежала из башни. Хотя она вышла из поинтеров, и как бы вообще непонятно, что это было. Но Феликс слышал 2 спуска. Давайте мы допросим показания всех, и потом еще раз попытаемся построить, что произошло, кроме Пенелопы. То есть у нас осталось только с Пенелопой пообщаться. У нас есть, получается, еще 3 подозрения будет. Но я не верю, что Поппи могла. Нет. Фиц такой себе. Вообще он может. Вот Фиц может. И Пенелопа узнать ее полностью. Но из данных присутствующих Фифи не... Я вот вычеркиваю Фифи. Я вот вычеркиваю Поппи и Флору. Вот этих 3 я точно вычеркиваю. Феликс, ну я бы хотел было вычеркнуть. Что-то как-то там удачно у него просто находится все.
I'm still not sure.
Should we take another look?
Вообще без понятия, что это такое.
Let's come back later.
Вот реально, даже по сюжету нам говорят, что мы очень сюда приходим не вовремя. Так, мы Поппи допросили обо всем, о чем знаем. Давайте проверим это. Значит, мы идем сюда. У меня есть что делать. Я забыл, конечно, что тут нужно все сделать, но... Давайте сначала с Флорой поговорим. У нас есть что-нибудь, о чем она может поведать? Типа...
We spoke to Hawkshaw. I assume she didn't get anything out of you either. I bet that really ticked her off.
You know the guy in the other tower? Weird astronomy professor guy?
Can you see him from your window? Can he see you?
Do you and Fitz have anything to do with each other? Other than your initials? Do you and Poppy get along?
Так.
Nothing. Shocker. Grimore, what could you possibly be writing down?
Oh no, I gave up making notes ages ago. Now I'm just doodling in the margins.
Гримар. Гениально.
Do you know anything about this beetle?
Нет, она ничего не знает об этом жуке. Это я знаю.
Do you know what this is?
Катушка, она...
Guess not.
В горшке ничего не знает. Ну, типа, мне кажется, ей пофиг на то, что происходит. Вот это вот возможно знает, но я не знаю. Возможно знает, но я не знаю, да.
The whole room is a
Yeah,
strange.
there might be a reason for that.
Говорит что-нибудь, что мы не проверили.
The attic's directly above us, right?
Yeah.
А где? Вот трещина, да? Или трещину мы не видим, получается. Вот я очень хочу проверить музычку, потому что жук может среагировать.
It's piano music.
Так я уже это делал. Его растрогать простые мелодии. Это же кассету, что ли, мне дать? Блин, не сказал бы играть на пианино простую мелодию, вообще нет. Типа, это непростая.
It's someone humming a tune.
Такое чувство, будто где-то есть еще 2 аудиокассеты.
The whole room
Yeah,
is
there might be a reason for that.
А знаете, что можно сделать? Я хочу перепроверить. Во-первых, у нас 2 комнаты закрыты. И вот это, мне кажется, тут что-то есть еще. Я тогда хочу пойти у Феликса расспросить обо всем вообще, что сейчас мы набыли за прошлый эпизод. Расскажи-ка мне о поинтере.
Pointer. Good old. So, what do you reckon? Is he the murderer?
I don't know, maybe. We still need...
That is not information we're willing to share at this time.
I'm just saying, keep an eye on him. Holds on to a lot of bitterness, does old Pointer. Just because he's always struggled to support his family. Slightly pathetic, really.
And how long have you known him?
Over 35 years.
Childhood friends? Rivals?
Don't know if I'd do him the honor of considering him my rival. Quite the character, eh? A fellow member of the Order of the Crimson Cloak.
Is that a real thing?
No, I just meant because we both wear, you know, red capes of a sort.
Has she questioned you yet?
If you call that questioning, she seemed bored by everything I had to say. I heard on the grapevine. Supposedly Hawkshaw is searching for some rare
Сарафанное радио? Так это Фрея, могу
something called
сказать.
the Golden Beetle.
Кто? Откуда ты узнал это?
Honestly, it's probably a bunch of sensations.
От него мы должны узнать были.
You reckon?
Quite sure. There is no treasure called the Golden Beetle.
How do you know?
Золотой, не
Because
желтый перевод.
I would have heard of it.
Слушай, чел, я бы очень хотел...
What's this all about? Some kind of rare jewel?
I'm pretty sure the research is about a real insect.
If it's made of gold, then it's made of gold.
Какой-то ты сам себе противоречащий. В этом он мне нравится, в этом.
I don't trust him. He's slippery. Never commits to anything.
Это сын твоего брата.
Onion?
Did you two have an argument?
No, but my daughter doesn't like him at all. And I trust Fiona's judgment entirely. She's a very vigilant young woman. Poppy's a good friend to my daughter. Always has been. I think they get on well because they're so... different.
Different, like how?
Poppy is, she's quite introspective, good with feelings. Fiona, not so much. Still, Poppy always seems to be sulking about something.
The heavy, heavy price of emotional intelligence.
What is it?
We don't know. We were really hoping you would.
My friends, shed your hope and let it fall free.
Ой,
like
это с метафорами
sandbags
заговорил.
from a hot air balloon.
That's the most depressing idiom I've ever heard.
Вот это метафорами заговорил.
Why don't you
Блин,
ask
да?
Fiona about that one? Looks like her area of expertise. That looks like it might belong to Fitz. I've never seen that before. Looks valuable. Now this is still in very good condition. Apart from the crack, of course.
What about those shards on the inside of the horn?
Looks like somebody broke a glass and was trying to conceal the evidence. Cunning.
Что-то мы его не смогли. Реально, что-то мы не смогли ничего с ним сделать. Я честно не знаю, как и что и куда. Мы тебя полностью расспросили. Нет смысла. Есть идея.
What?
Wind chimes silent. Wooden wind chime.
It's just an like walking through
Too
it.
late. I tied the boat up to the mooring post, so now.
Loving the confidence. It's the little boat we use. It's the only way on or...
What a comforting thought.
It's a
I
stone.
think it's an egg.
I'm still not
Should we take another look?
Let's come back later.
Ну да, тут нужно через людей диалоги решать это все. На что я забил конкретно.
Poppy has remarkable musical talent. She could be famous, wealthy even, if she wanted to.
She'd probably have to leave Tangle Tower first.
Quite. Some breed of amphibious humanoid. Potentially bipedal. Although none of the statues show the creature's feet.
I guess we'll never know.
А все, а ты прости, ничего не хочешь сказать? Хотя бы попытаться.
There's a metal plaque on
Is
the
there a
boat.
message in...
I think they're about someone scratched it off.
Знаете что? У главных двор
Is that an envelope?
It's been open. Let's read it.
Isn't that an
No,
envelope?
definitely.
вот эта вот штука еще. Кодовая комбинация нарисована на другом языке. Запомни наизусть и уничтожь листок.
Oh.
What?
Oh.
Oh yeah. Tangle Tower.
Twar. Do you think he'll start?
No, I think he'll just sign.
Очень трудно понять, что еще нужно.
That's a handsome Looks like he might.
It's glad.
Total
I
accident.
am not.
All the flowers
Can
here.
flowers be poisonous?
Anything can be.
Good to know.
Давай поговорим о Поппи.
Poppy and I are friends.
Да
Oh,
больше, чем друзья.
that, dark clothes, blue hair, an average of 3 words per sentence. Oh, you're like 2 peas in a pod.
She's very kind, and she has an interest in plants. Unusual flowers, mostly. I've been teaching her.
Right.
Is something wrong? What's with the broken glass?
Никаких подозрений на него нет.
Bit of a decadent flooring choice.
У него в комнате не может быть чего-либо.
It's a little glass box.
I think it's a
Come
vivarium.
again?
See the leaves and twigs. Might have been for keeping insects. We already solved it. Freya's bear.
Looks pretty
He's had a
depressed.
rough couple of days.
Ну, тут нету ничего музыкального, да? Повиксу.
Just little trinkets.
Let's leave them alone.
Do you think this
I
was-
don't know.
No windows either.
Ладно, идем тогда в новую комнату. Раз уж ничего не нашли. Птичник. А, даже та... А, это не шапка у нее. Или шапка. Что? Зеркало.
I don't like mirrors.
How do you get your hair so symmetrical?
I do it by weight. I can feel if one side is heavier than the other.
Bird diagrams.
They're beautiful. Someone really knows their stuff. Check out that butterfly.
Looks evil.
Wow, judgmental.
A rather magnificent bush. somewhat cruelly confined to a stone pot.
There's a letter P carved into the side.
Ну, ремень кто-нибудь.
A rather magnificent
Ой,
bush,
поинтер.
somewhat cruelly
There's a letter P carved into the side.
What's with those little windows?
I think they're there for dreaming. They're bird cages. But the birds
Is
are...
that a metaphor?
Oh, it totally is.
And
And it's home to 3 especially fancy birds. They're bird cages. But the birds
that a
are...
metaphor?
Oh, it totally is.
Что тут есть еще, что можно потыкать такого? Ну, типа, просто
Does
комнату.
this
Yeah.
count?
No, doesn't matter.
Ничего не считается.
Does this
Yeah.
count?
No, doesn't matter.
I feel like I'm standing in a giant bird cage.
Oh, just beautiful. What is it?
Huh?
Sort of a delicate jade, but with a little seafoam green, is that right?
Sorry?
Your hair, dear! Which shade do you use? It's lovely! And that shape, you're really pushing the envelope.
Oh, thanks. I do what I can to offset Grimoire's beige on brown ensemble.
Detectives don't need to be brightly colored. We prefer to blend into the background.
Oh, you're the detective? Delightful. Penny Pointer, pleasure.
Is that short for Penelope?
Officially, yes, but I never can be bothered with all 4 syllables of it. Penelope sounds a little ostentatious coming out of the mouth, don't you think?
Sure.
Ну,
Yeah.
в принципе, она и ведет себя таким образом как-то... Я вообще ее не такой представлял. Расскажи себе.
Oh, she's beautiful. Who is she? Wait, is that me? She'd sit in the aviary, first thing in the morning, and paint the birds. Sometimes she'd ask me their names.
Freya was interested in studying bird species too?
No, just wanted to know their names. Isabelle, Clementine, Myrtle, Lysandre, Genevieve.
Got it, thanks.
For my 21st birthday, she gave me a framed painting. All the birds from a single spring, with their names written underneath. I can't begin to tell you how much I've treasured it.
Sounds like you two were close.
I feel like I always struggled to articulate my admiration for her. But she had a way of understanding unspoken things.
Ладно, давайте не будем
20-something,
вспоминать.
Aquarius, loved to travel, and nearly all of my friends.
Итак, мы возвращаемся. Из-за некоторых технических шоколадок у меня слетела запись неожиданно. И все, что я успел сделать, это поговорить с Пенелопой. И то не полностью. Короче, интересная дама в возрасте 27 лет. Показаний я у нее не спрашивал. Все, что я узнал, это про нее, про Фрею. И давайте быстренько перескажу. Вот видите, я вообще ничего не трогал. Все, что я сделал, это вот поговорил с ней вот на 3 пункта. Поговорил о Фрейе, о себе и расспросил вот этих 3 человек о ней. Ну и комната открылась и соответственно. Короче, очень интересная дамочка. Она орнитолог, то есть занимается птицами. И вот прямо она говорит, что птицы ее компания. И вот самое удивительное, она сказала, что она помолвлена с Фицем. И Фиц сам это утверждает. Но как-то они слишком мало говорят друг о друге. И вообще друг о друге не говорили до этого. Только типа Пенелопа начала. Так, у меня просто вопрос, а что с Поппи Плейтаймом иногда происходит?
Oh, did you talk to Poppy already?
Yeah, a little bit.
And did you make any notes of what she told you?
Yeah, I did.
Lovely. Burn them. It'll all be lies.
Why would Poppy lie to us?
Because that's what she does. She's a snake. Looks like one, too.
Don't you think you're being a little unfair, Penny?
She started it. She mostly ignores me, if I'm honest.
How come?
Well, we're not quite on the same intellectual level.
Oh, I mean, well, you don't need to.
No, it's quite all right. I'm comfortable with it. I must say, I really don't care for the den of self-delusion that he's retreated into. People are better off when they just let themselves be themselves. Between you and me, I think Felix is secretly rather miserable. A fellow bird enthusiast. She's quite the expert, truth be told. Studied them professionally at one point. I think her father taught her.
Are you friends with Flora?
A little bit.
A little bit friends.
She's one for the peace and quiet. I dare say I'm a little too loud for her.
I can see that.
I do admire her, though, really. Always felt like she could have done better than settle for Felix.
Ouch.
I said it. She's a most unsavory little...
Вот это реакция.
She was incredibly rude about my appearance.
Which part? The giant bird arms, or...
If I were her, I'd go easy on the judgment of others. I mean, look at her. She looks like the ghost of a scarecrow. I just wish Uncle Pointer would tell her to behave herself.
Professor Pointer? Why him?
Oh, it was Uncle that called her in.
Так мы от
She's
нее
his
должны были
responsibility.
узнать.
Did you not know that?
Прости, прости, я с тобой разговариваю последним человеком.
Can't say I've ever taken an interest in Uncle's astronomy. On occasion, I've dared to visit him in his tower, but I always regret it. It's all just a little too abstract for me.
What do you mean?
Oh, did you know the sun is apparently over 400,000 miles wide? Okay, so what should I do with that information? How does it help me?
Don't look at me. You're the one who memorized it.
You know, it's probably quite impressive. To a visitor, fresh eyes and all that.
Not to you?
Try living in it for 20 years. The sheen wears off. If it wasn't for my fits, I'd have little reason to stay.
What about inheritance? You're the next oldest Pointer after your uncle, aren't you?
Well, thank you very much for phrasing it like that. But no, any money left in the Pointer family will pass down directly to Poppy.
Is that fair?
I couldn't care less, to be perfectly honest.
Это обидно.
Finally, I get to see a detective's case file.
That's a very specific thing to be excited about.
Only last week I asked that miserable Hawkshaw woman if I could see her case notes.
I'm guessing she said no.
Would have been much more polite if she had just said no. Instead, she was quite rude to me. Accused me of being, what was it? A shallow sensationalist.
Это, да, немного неприятно.
I've read about
Даже
this
мне немного
creature
это неприятно просто
somewhere.
выслушать.
Don't remember anything about him playing the harp, though. Goodness me. Poppy really doesn't take care of her belongings, does she?
It wasn't in Poppy's room. It was in the little pond in the garden.
Exactly! Hardly the place for it. How terrible.
You recognize it?
The color scheme. 3 different pinks. Obscene.
Розовый не нравится, о.
Hello. Who penned this juicy little number?
We don't know. It's not signed.
An anonymous letter? Classic clue. I doubt Freya intended it, but the overall effect is a little unsettling. Don't you think? It's Flora that's the problem. She's an inescapably haunting presence, bless her. Oh, that's rather sad. Gaudy old thing, isn't it? Flora seems very fond of it. I've never understood why. But then I could say the same thing about her husband.
Heyo!
Poppy's gramophone. She's had it for a long time. As a young child, she'd call it her mama phone, on account of it belonging to her mother.
That's cute.
Oh yes, adorable. Freya doesn't take very good care of her paints, does she? But then she was always rather bohemian, had her own priorities. If I'm not mistaken, that little red and white one is supposed to be a bird of some kind. A bit vain to carve wooden figurines of oneself, isn't it? I know a lot of people rather like this painting, but it's a little much for me. I find it overbearing. And for some reason, it makes me feel bad for Freya. I think she was more
Неправильный
troubled than we
перевод
knew.
был в первой фразе. Я нахожу много людей, которым нравится эта картина, а не похожих. Что за похожих на эту картину? Ну она? Я не вижу больше похожего на эту картину личность никакую.
Freya was very talented, even at that age.
Do you know how old this photo is?
Not sure. Must be a couple of years at least. Sometime before Fiona settled on her current style. Very nice.
You've seen these before?
Yes.
All of them. Even this one of...
Yes. Somebody taking an interest in extinct animals.
Extinct.
Oh, yes. The book is very old.
А,
Most
даже
of the
так?
birds in it are long gone.
Well, what about this bird, though? The ink dip.
This one, well, it was thought to be extinct for a long time. Then one was found here at Tangle Tower.
So it's not extinct.
You misunderstand. It was the last one. The very last.
Oh.
Ooh, a secret diary.
That's our guess too.
Excellent. It's that bird. But these must have been drawn at least a year ago. Oh, how sad. Not a fan of insects myself. Whose research is this?
We were hoping you might know.
No, can't say I... Freya, perhaps. I know she was always very fond of grubby little things like this.
Noted.
Is that for sewing?
Maybe?
We have no idea.
I don't know what that is. Ooh, delightful. More of a gemstone than a fruit, isn't
Ну
it?
да.
Inedible, too, I think.
Yes. At one point I thought Fitz might be growing them to sell them. But honestly, I think he just likes the way they look. Oh, did Fitz show you that?
Not exactly.
We found it hidden under his bed.
Ah, right. Haven't seen
Значит,
this
она
one in
ему
a while.
подарила.
He lives in the music room, doesn't he?
Currently.
I must say the girls are awfully well behaved today. I think they know we're in the presence of company.
They belong to you? Why do you keep them in a cage?
They need a special diet, particular treatment. I let them out to fly occasionally, of course. But they're all one of a kind. I couldn't let anything happen to them.
Do they have names?
Of course. Let me introduce you to Tabitha, Tamara, and Tatiana.
I've already forgotten all three of those names.
Which one is which?
Oh, that's simple. Tatiana is the oldest, Tabitha is the most patient, and Tamara has the best sense of rhythm.
Glad we cleared that up.
What about the one on your head?
On my head? He's just my hat. He doesn't have a name. Who would name their hat?
Шутка не понята.
Sometime in the evening, I left the aviary and headed back towards my room. But in the hall, I spotted Uncle Pointer heading down the stairs. He was muttering something. Seemed a bit upset, the poor dear. I followed him down, but the grand hall was empty by the time I got there. Empty aside from Detective Hawkshaw, who was loitering over by the library. I don't know what it was, but she looked a little lost. I inquired about the professor, and she told me he'd gone up the fellow tower. I ran up the stairs, hoping to catch up with him, but Felix appeared and blocked my path. For some reason, he was coming out of Fitz's bedroom. He looked rather lost, too. I told him I was looking for Uncle. He suggested we look up in Flora's tower room. We could see from the hallway. The door was off its hinges. I knew then something was terribly wrong. A moment later, we were gazing down on the body of poor Freya. Uncle Pointer was there. Fitz, too, standing over in the corner with Fifi and Poppy.
What about Flora?
Of course, silent as ever. Uncle suggested we should leave. Give the others some space, you know. So he and I both returned to our rooms in Pointer Tower.
Чё с лицом?
That's all the statements.
Let's go over them all. That's all the statements collected. Let's run through them all to see if anything doesn't add up.
To see if anyone's been lying.
That too.
Fitz and I were up in the moonlight garden most of the afternoon. Then we heard this sound. Lasted about 3 seconds.
We thought it was coming from Flora's tower, so we went up there.
Her door was locked. Nobody was answering. So I made Fitz kick down the door.
Poppy and I went in. Freya was right there, laying on her back. I left my tower and headed down towards the Grand Hall.
But in the hall, I spotted Uncle Pointer heading down the stairs. I vacated the library, but before I could begin my ascent, Professor Pointer appeared.
I didn't know what to do. So I ran downstairs to get Fifi.
I heard someone heading down the stairs, just outside my room.
Someone began banging on the door. I ignored it until the someone began shouting at me.
Eventually, she let me in.
I spotted Detective Hawkshaw coming out of the library.
He emerged from the Pointer staircase, crossed the hall, and begun up the fellow staircase. As I was passing through the front door, Penelope called out from behind me. I inquired about the professor, and she told me he'd gone up the fellow tower.
I told her what had happened. She didn't believe me. She got angry.
I thought she was playing a trick on me, so I punched her in the face.
I recognized Fiona's voice as well as the voice of my own daughter.
We left the room, and Poppy's father was waiting outside. He followed us upstairs.
I ran up the stairs, hoping to catch up with him, but Felix appeared and blocked my path.
Back in the hallway, I bumped into a very concerned-looking Penelope. She was heading up Fellow Tower to find Professor Pointer, so I escorted her.
Poppy left the room for a while. When she came back, she had her father with her, and Fifi too. Felix and Penny arrived shortly after we did.
A moment later, we were gazing down on the body of poor Freya.
Then I took a sample of the red paint on the unfinished painting.
She took me down to the library. We were in there about 15 minutes.
I quickly decided that I should leave also. I took Penelope with me, and we both went back to our rooms in Pointer Tower. I wanted to go back to my room, but I realized nobody had told Detective Hawkshaw anything.
An unremarkable hour passed before the gardener finally made his appearance.
I think she was annoyed about being made to wait outside so long. But when I told her about Freya, she fell silent.
That's disappointing.
What is?
All the statements line up with each other.
They
Нет.
don't just line up.
В смысле?
Some of them even seem to specifically confirm each other.
It was dusk. A feeling lingered in the air. Malevolent, perhaps. Uncertain, as life itself.
Abridged version, please.
Right, fine. I heard someone heading down the stairs, just outside my room. The footsteps were calm, orderly, so I thought nothing of it. Shortly afterward, I heard a second set of footsteps, going the same way. This time I could tell just from the sound that something was wrong. So I looked out into the hallway. I got a glimpse of Poppy disappearing down the staircase to the floor below. Didn't know what to make of it, to be honest. I thought perhaps she'd had a disagreement with Fitz, as I know those two are close. So I looked into his room, just in case, but it was empty, as was the garden beyond his window. Back in the hallway, I bumped into a very concerned-looking Penelope. She was heading up Fellow Tower to find Professor Pointer, so I escorted her. We went into Flora's room. Poor Freya was laying on the floor. Fiona, Poppy, Fitz, and Pointer were there already. Flora too, of course. Soon enough, everyone else made their excuses and left.
Including you?
Not I. I stayed. Flora needed me.
Кто спускался?
Penelope seems to have really settled into a groove. She struggled a bit when she was younger, always a little estranged.
How come?
Well, she was mostly raised by her uncle, and he really only makes time for his own daughter. Now, of course, she's bringing the two families together through her marriage. It's a nice gesture, heartfelt, but futile. Bizarre things, aren't they? Penelope seems rather attached to them.
Do you not feel sorry for them in that little cage?
Come now, I'm sure they could leave if they really wanted to.
Так, у нас остается проверить комнату Пенелопы. Мы тут точно ничего не упустили?
Ever get the feeling you're being watched?
The mannequins don't have eyes, though.
That's not a comforting sentence. Ever get the
Mannequins
That's not.
It's a birdhouse.
Are those real birds? Nope.
They're using up all the perches. What if a real bird wanted to use?
В смысле, зачем? А!
No, that was it.
Nice
Да,
work.
я понял, это цвета.
Get the door open.
На бумаге злобно накорябано. Теперь уж я ее достану. Ё-моё, какая жуть. Это что такое?
That's
There's
something.
something weird just feels out of place.
Ой-ой, тут реально есть что
A
еще
little tea set.
посмотреть.
Looks.
One of the cups
What's in the other one?
birdseed. A little bit.
Let's see. Romance novel. And
What?
this one appears to be
Nice. You know,
Well, if that's true, can they even? Traveling case.
empty. All of them. Penny's books. Mostly no.
Traveling case.
Empty. All of them.
This is the.
Too fancy.
What does
I
that?
don't know.
That might be the.
Нечего спрашивать больше тут искать. Ой, не-не-не. Все спросили?
That's rather strange now, isn't it?
We found it in your room.
Just lying around, was it?
Nope. You'd hidden it, but we found it.
We do that.
Who's the her in the message? And what's the deal with the petals?
It's really none of your business. Yes, it's my, my flower.
You don't like it?
I'm no good at caring for plants. I forget to water them. Birds are much easier. They're a lot more vocal when they get thirsty.
Do you at least like the look of the flower?
The look?
The colors? The shape of it?
Between you and me, I think it's a little vulgar.
There's something about the report of Fitz going up Pointer Tower. Something.
Let's ask him about it.
So, Fitz, I have a report that you were seen sneaking up Pointer Tower, holding a knife.
That's not right. I don't go into Pointer Tower. I don't own a knife. And I don't sneak. Was it Fifi who told you this?
How did you know that?
A guess. She doesn't like me very much. But yeah, she was mistaken. Maybe she wasn't wearing her eye lens thing.
What do you think, Grimoire?
Fifi did see Fitz, but he was holding something else.
So, if it wasn't a knife, what was it?
What about this?
Ah, that.
Is it yours?
It was a gift. It's sentimental. I have no reason to take it up Pointer Tower. I don't use it at all.
An ornate trowel. Almost. Maybe just... An ornate trowel. Nope.
Вот, все.
An ornate trowel is used by Fitz to look after a potted flower in Penny's room.
That flower.
Yes.
I've never seen it before.
We need a clue to compare to that flower. Something that proves its connection to Fitz.
Здравствуйте, что мы его все-таки не спросили. Вот этот.
Let's take a closer look at these. The pot and soil in Penny's room matches the pot and soil found in Fitz's greenhouse.
Да, это easy.
Let me guess. Penny's flower was originally a gift from you, Fitz. There's no way it's a coincidence.
No way what's a coincidence.
The flower. It looks exactly like Penny.
It took me a long time to breed. I wanted the colors to be exactly right.
That's some gift.
Turns out Penny isn't particularly interested in looking after plants. So I go into her room every now and again, when she's not there. Water the flower, change the soil. Just trying to keep it alive.
Это все?
Those petals,
What?
they're red. A flower.
Yeah, it's a flower. We found it in Penny's room.
Okay.
Mean anything to you?
Why would it?
Come on.
I don't really go into Penny's room or anywhere in Pointer Tower. I just don't have a reason to.
Ну, мы узнали все, все правда? Да. Но вообще мы пропустили какие-то две детали. Первое — это список покупочек.
What do you know about Penny?
I can't really imagine those two being friends, to be honest.
You never know. Do you know anything about these birds? Or birds in general?
Как с тобой приятно общаться. Ты такая разговорчивая, умная тетка. Ой,
That's the only door.
It's also
Sure is. Guessing.
locked.
There must be some way to get it open. It's locked.
I thought we
We
were...
are.
What's that thing by the hand?
Реально, я не понимаю, как это работает.
Ah,
You know...
what?
Yeah,
Oh,
the duality
if you say so.
Let's come back once we...
It's inside. It says to fit. There's
Something. It's probably just a rock.
You sure?
Ну реально, надо в сад попасть. Но я не знаю, откуда попасть в сад. Это в каком-то Фитце. Ну, а мы сейчас идем в каком-то Пенни. Ах, да, мы здесь не расследовали.
That.
I
is
thought
the-
vampires...
This
slept
is a vampire who needs firm support for them. That.
I thought
This
vampires...
is a vampire who needs firm support. Anything in the world.
Dresses mostly. I never realized there were so many shades.
A lamp. It is most definitely.
More handwritten sheet music.
Ah, yes, sage. Always a good omen.
It's an eye. More handwritten sheet music.
There's an. You know. Oh, thank. Wouldn't want it to be dark and sheet
It's
music.
only a few
Yeah,
notes.
it's been framed though. Must be important for some reason. There's an. You know.
It's a metronome.
It's. Is it a bomb?
It's supposed to be. Not sure what those symbols are, though. I did it.
Not bad. What happened?
A little hatch unlocked.
Anything in there?
Mm-hmm. Part of a photograph.
There's something about that pink something.
Let's ask Poppy about it.
Подозрения на нее сейчас пойдут. Но
Just a bunch of
подозрение, это
weird-
же подозрение, это же типа. Давайте расспросим
simple, how
ее.
very-
Типа.
Yeah, weird.
Oh, thank. Wouldn't want it to be dark.
It's an octopus.
No, it has. Don't say it.
Sextopus.
Various.
What do you think those...
Давайте, я хочу порасследовать тут немножко.
A big glass leads out.
There's a little mechanism by...
О! О! Ха-ха-ха.
Nothing.
All four tiles.
Those other
I
symbols.
think it is. I guess we'll come back later.
It's locked.
I thought
we are.
What's that thing by the...
Nothing.
The tiles.
Those.
Maybe they're connected.
It made a noise.
I guess that was right. And...
I still feel like we made some sort of.
Сейчас в сад дверь откроем, наконец-то. Ура! Ура! Давай!
A big glass leads out.
There's a little...
Nothing.
All four
Those
tiles.
other
I
symbols.
think it is.
Something
That
happened.
must be it. Finally.
Whatever's on the other side better be work.
С днем сада. О, с днем сада, наконец-то, ребят.
Giant stone frog.
Ah, he's got his tongue out like he's catching snowflakes.
Except those aren't snowflakes. They're feathers.
Теперь нет, чудинка, ну это я понял.
There's something about those petals we found in something.
Let's ask her about it.
Все, отлично.
That's one big
Or
one.
one very small dragon. It's a rose bush. Apart from a couple of loose petals on one side, the whole thing looks very well cared for.
The roses are bright red, too.
Aren't roses normally that color?
Exactly.
Так, это что за...
It's another little statue.
Это
Doing a
ужасы
really
какие-то.
bad job of hiding in the bushes.
He's playing a lute this time.
He's also wearing headphones.
Well, they're not part of the statue. And they're not headphones. They're earmuffs. It's so relaxed. I might just stay here.
Oh, shall I go finish the investigation on my...
That'd be great.
A little pond.
It looks really, really deep for some reason. See those metal bars around the edges?
Yeah.
Nothing. And it looks like somebody broke them and then never bothered to fix it. More eggs.
I don't get it.
Well, either they have or the sculptor was just really lazy.
What do you mean?
An egg has got to be the easiest shape to make.
Trees.
In a garden.
In a garden? Oh, good. I'm glad to know there's a way...
Not all bridges are about getting across.
The door into pond.
So,
I guess so. It's the window.
You know, I wish my bedroom window had a view this nice.
Про Поппи, то есть ты так не сказала. О, птички.
Trees.
In a garden.
In a garden?
Вообще без понятия, что тут происходит у кого и какие тут интрижки уже. Но прежде чем подозревание давать, нет, мы сначала расспросим ее о...
Looks a little simple for Poppy, doesn't it? I thought she was a grade 12 or something.
I didn't know there were that many grades.
I'm sure they invented some new ones just for her. I can't decide what's worse. How she looks here, or how she looks now.
Do you know who this is? In the photo?
Oh, absolutely no idea. Oh, there used to be all kinds of birds here at Tangle Tower. The most fascinating breeds, all totally unique.
Used to be? There are birds all over the place.
Most of them are rather ordinary.
Ну мы, короче, походу
What
сейчас
happened to
будем
the
разгадывать все.
non-ordinary ones?
That is a very good question. Lovely.
Вот ты сейчас под подозрение пойдешь.
So, yeah, we found this.
Oh, that's nothing.
You wrote, "Now I'll get her," on a piece of paper and hid it in your room. That's not nothing.
Actually, it's not the message I wanted to ask about. It's those red flower petals.
The petals.
They're from red roses. And there's only one place in Tangle Tower with red roses.
We need a clue. Something that shows the roses. And who they belong to. It's a drawing
Ta-da.
of Fitz and Poppy in the rooftop garden. See what Fitz is holding?
I can't imagine what you're getting at, but it doesn't matter. I couldn't have taken anything from the rooftop garden. It's only accessible from Fitz's room or Poppy's room. How could I have taken something from a garden to which I have no access?
О ком-то Фитце не
It's only
считается.
accessible from those two bedrooms.
For most people, it would be. But don't forget, Penny's the resident ornithologist.
My dears, what are you accusing me of?
Ручные птицы.
One of Penny's birds... Almost.
Но они импонировали.
One of Penny's birds was used to spy on Poppy and Fitz and steal evidence from them. We know those two have been spending time together in the rooftop garden. I'm guessing you got paranoid. Wanted to know what they were up to.
I'm just not the jealous type. I would never suspect Fitz of anything like that. Besides, Tabitha hardly ever leaves her cage. She's certainly never flown up to the rooftop garden.
Ага, ща я тебе покажу.
We need a clue to compare with Penny's birds. Something to prove one
Я
of them
тебе
is spending
сейчас
the rooftop
такое
garden.
расскажу. Ты сейчас мне так поверишь. Ты вообще будешь в шоке,
Let's
Пенелопа.
take a closer look at
Слушай.
these. This yellow feather was left behind by Penny's yellow bird when it visited the rooftop garden.
I can't stand it! Knowing the two of them are hidden away up there in their private little garden. I couldn't risk spying on them myself, so I asked dear Tabitha to do it for me. I knew she'd be able to bring me back some evidence.
Sorry, Penny, but are you not overreacting a little?
You don't understand. Fitz is slipping away from me. He's so quiet with me these days. But being with Poppy seems to bring him out of his shell. I don't know what he sees in her miserable little... I apologize. This really isn't your burden to bear.
Все, мы с ее выдаили просто вот прям максимум с нее все взяли. Что-то она как-то менее раскрыта, чем Феликс какой-нибудь. Вот это вообще меня пугает до сих пор.
I need to confirm something with you, Poppy.
Confirm away.
What can you tell us about this cassette tape? Is it yours?
It belongs to Freya. She liked to have music playing while she was painting, you know.
And do you know what kind of music is on this tape?
No idea. Acid jazz?
It's piano music. Sounds an awful lot like your music, to be honest.
Sure it doesn't belong to you?
Why are we even talking about this? Cassette tapes have been redundant for a good few years now.
The tape was found at the crime scene. It was in the gramophone.
It's not mine. I'd never own anything like that.
Why not?
Not my color.
You used to like these colors.
Ridiculous.
Да,
We
да,
need
да,
a
ну
clue
щас,
to
щас,
compare
щас.
with the cassette tape. Something that proves Poppy used to like these colors. Let's take a closer look at this. The pink cassette tape almost. Maybe the pink cassette tape found at the crime scene matches the pink cassette player used by Poppy in this old photo.
That is not me.
Yeah, it is. I'll prove it.
Да.
You look a little different, but Fifi and Freya are pretty recognizable. It's clearly a photo of you with your two best friends. Why'd you tear it up and then hide it?
I think the answer is pretty straightforward.
Нет, вы чё, не попе.
Poppy doesn't want to look like that anymore.
That's it. Makes this whole thing seem kind of irrelevant.
Maybe. It depends on the reason.
The reason she doesn't want to look like that anymore?
The passage of time is a powerful thing.
Hold on. This means that pink cassette tape does belong to you, Poppy.
It used to. I recorded some piano music onto it and gave it to Freya as a gift. Years ago.
Freya could have easily been listening to this tape at the exact moment she was killed. There's gotta be a connection between the tape, the gramophone, and the murder.
There's one other thing I want to know. How did it get that crack down the middle?
I have no idea. I think it's kind of cruel to keep 3 birds in one cage like that.
Does Penny not let them out to fly?
Oh, she does. She must do. but I don't think they're allowed to go far. Penny can be a little Those petals.
What about them?
It's nothing. They're just unusual. Never seen that one before. Was it in the greenhouse?
No, we found it in Penny's room.
Right. Yeah, it's mine.
Can you play the tune for us?
Sure. It's literally 8 notes. I have it memorized. I don't know what that is.
Weird, considering we found it hidden in your room.
Well, my room is full of junk. There's probably a bunch of stuff hidden in there. I don't mean like... Please stop talking to me. I see a lot of birds up in the rooftop garden. They seem to really like it up there.
Why's that?
It's quiet.
Do you know where those earmuffs came from?
I put them there.
Why?
I found them lying around. I think they belong to Fitz. I put them on the statue so he'd see them. I thought they looked like headphones, like he's in the recording studio with his guitar. No?
If they do belong to Fitz, he hasn't taken them back yet. When did you find them?
This morning.
Where?
I don't know, in a hallway. I can't remember exactly.
That's all formality.
So, what?
Should we go back to the garden?
Разгадка, мне кажется, сейчас будет.
Let's try this again.
You know, I think we might be... That's gotta be right.
Nothing. Maybe it's broken.
Wait, do you hear that?
Чего? Под землей. Что? Что это?